This science fiction story begins by depicting a time on Earth when the environment suddenly started to change. Certain chemicals mixed with the air from the sky, causing changes in human body structures. Due to the complete alteration of Earth's atmosphere, people began to develop different types of powers. These powers led to humans being called mutants, as these mutants possessed various powers that were significantly different from normal humans, all due to the environmental changes. At one point, these mutants were in high demand because people used their powers for everyday tasks. However, some mutants used their powers for evil purposes, such as killing and stealing, which led the government to decide that all individuals with these abilities should be eliminated. The government then created advanced robots to capture and terminate these mutants. The arrival of these AI robots drastically reduced the demand for mutants, forcing even the good mutants to hide to save their lives. If the government discovered someone was a mutant, they would be captured and imprisoned. The condition of mutants worsened, and their entire community had to live in hiding among people. Besides the government, some private organizations captured these mutants with different abilities to extract a liquid from their spinal cords, which was used to make a drug sold for a high price on the black market. Thus, the poor mutants were trapped from both sides. We are then introduced to a man named Connor, who lived with his mom, Eva. Both Connor and Eva were mutants with their own abilities, which they kept hidden. Connor noticed strange marks forming on Eva's hands, which he suspected were cancerous. He knew that if he didn't get treatment for his mom, she would die eventually. This made him very sad because he didn't have enough money. Despite Eva reassuring her son that she would be fine, Connor knew the truth. As usual, Connor returned to his job as a mechanic, where he used his abilities to finish work quickly. He enjoyed his job because of this. Connor worked with several other mechanics in a house when suddenly a police force team arrived. The police officers lined up all the workers and asked for their work certificates, as mutants needed certificates for any job they did. Among all the workers, one did not have the necessary certificate and was working illegally. Consequently, the police tried to capture that mutant. Enraged, the mutant used his ability to injure a police officer. At that moment, two AI robots descended from the police drones, used their weapons to wound the fleeing mutant, and killed him on the spot. This infuriated Connor and the other workers, as they felt that such treatment of the mutant community was extremely unjust, but they were powerless to do anything. Next, we are introduced to two police officers named Park and Chong, who break into a man's house to capture him. It is later revealed that the man, a mutant, was working for the organization that extracted serum from other mutants' bodies. For their bravery, Park and Chong receive several rewards and are tasked with maintaining peace throughout the town. Meanwhile, Connor's mother, Eva, who had become much weaker, was working as a helper in a general store. Connor couldn't bear to see her in such a condition. The store owner rudely tells Eva that if she can't work properly, she shouldn't come from the next day. This infuriates Connor, and he almost unleashes his powers, but Eva calms him down, urging him to control his ability. They leave the store together, with Connor repeatedly telling his mother that she doesn't need to work and should rest at home. He promises to earn enough money soon and get her treated. However, Eva advises her son not to engage in any wrongdoing for money, reminding him that his father, a thief, died because of such activities. The next day, Connor goes to work with a colleague who tells him about local thugs who hire people for illegal activities and pay them well. Connor notices a man named Gary in a car, who calls him over and says he needs a mutant with electric powers, offering $2,000 for the job. Connor, aware that his ability is electricity, agrees to work with Gary for the money. Connor then meets other people in the van, including two other mutants named Sam and Danny. They all arrive at a large factory, but there is a significant barrier preventing entry. Inside the factory, there was a flow of electricity, so Gary instructed Connor to use his ability to shut down the entire circulation system. Connor immediately used his electric shocks on the barrier, causing a short circuit that disabled it. Gary was shocked by Connor's abilities, and they all entered the factory to steal all the goods. As they were about to leave, police drones detected their location and began to pursue them, having information that a yellow car was involved in the theft. However, Jerry and his team were cunning and changed the car's color to evade the police drones successfully. Jerry took the stolen goods and his team to their dangerous boss, Mac. Gary reported to Mac how they successfully carried out the theft and brought back all the goods. Mac, however, was never satisfied because he always wanted more money. He instructed Gary to rob a bank next, taking many mutants with him for the heist. It was revealed that Mac had a superior who ran all the illegal businesses. After completing the task, Gary dropped Connor home and gave him $2,000. He also told Connor that if he joined them in the bank robbery, he would earn even more money. Connor agreed because he needed to gather as much money as possible quickly. The next day, police officers Park and Chang received information that Mac and his gang were planning a bank robbery. They also learned that an electricity-powered mutant was now part of Mac's team, making them even more vigilant. To test Connor's loyalty and abilities, Gary brought him to a car and asked him to use his electricity ability to turn off the blaring horn. Here, it was revealed that Gary had superkinetic powers, allowing him to lift objects with his mind. Connor concentrated and used his electricity powers to turn off the car horn, proving his worth. Gary realized that Connor was indeed a perfect fit for their team. Gary immediately starts training Connor since he still doesn't have control over his abilities. Gary is determined to help Connor master his powers. Using his superkinetic powers, Gary levitates several electric bulbs and instructs Connor to pass a current through them to make them light up. Initially, Connor struggles and can't light a single bulb. However, after several days of continuous practice, he succeeds. He lights up each bulb Gary throws and even manages to destroy them, learning to control his abilities well. Gary also pays Connor for the training, and Connor stashes the money in a briefcase at home. Now, Gary's entire team is ready for the robbery. They wear masks and use their abilities to force everyone to sit down. Connor uses his electric shocks to open the bank's door, allowing the team to start collecting the money. However, they soon realize that there isn't much money left in the bank. When Gary questions the accountant, she reveals that the funds were recently transferred to the main branch, leaving them with very little. The team grabs the remaining money and starts to escape, but a large police drone arrives to capture them. While everyone is terrified, Connor bravely steps forward and uses his electric shocks to bring the drone down. The other mutants also use their abilities to escape. Gary brings the remaining money to Mac but expresses his suspicion that someone knew about their plan and set them up by keeping less money in the bank. This makes Mac very suspicious of his team members. At that moment, they notice a strange girl approaching Mac with the intent to kill him. Before she can attack, Connor uses his electric shocks to stop her. Mac's bodyguards quickly intervene and kill the girl. Connor suffers a minor injury in the process. Connor goes to get a medical kit, but Kate, a girl working in Mac's team, places her hand on Connor's wound and heals it completely. Connor realizes that Kate is a healer mutant who can cure any illness. Kate explains that her father owed Mac a lot of money, so she has been working for Mac to pay off the debt. Connor returns home to find that his mother, Eva, has discovered the hidden money. Eva understands that Connor couldn't have earned such a large amount easily and must be involved in illegal activities. As Connor tries to explain to his mother, she suddenly collapses and is rushed to the hospital. This deeply saddens Connor, but he realizes he needs to gather money for her treatment. Connor heads back to his team members but encounters the same police officers, Park and Chang, outside the hospital. They take Connor into custody, having seen him with Mac on CCTV multiple times. They question him about Mac and his gang, asking about their activities and base of operations. However, Connor maintains that he only does minor tasks for them and has no idea about their actual business. Park and Chang try to convince Connor, explaining that they are close to capturing Mac's entire team and, knowing his mother is ill, offer him a last chance to switch sides. However, Connor refuses to cooperate, forcing them to release him. Connor returns to his team and informs them about the police interrogation. Mac, who has the ability to read minds through touch, understands Connor's thoughts and learns about the police's plans to attack his business. Connor then shares his urgent need for money to help his sick mother, expressing his willingness to do anything for it. Seeing this, Mac offers him a deal. If Connor protects his drug business from the police, Mac will give him a 10% cut. Satisfied with this offer, Connor agrees and sets out on his mission to safeguard Mac's operations.